This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield and his better half, Marney Winfield.
Check.
Check. Check
Check a microphone.
Check a microphone.
It is the 10th of June, sort of. 2021. My name is Corey Winfield.
This is Marney Winfield.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. And the reason I said is sort of because it's 11:59 p.m. on June 10th. That's Eastern Time. And it is 8:59 California time. So it's still the 10th when we're doing it, but people back home, it's about to be June 11th.
So people are probably like a day, getting us like a day after than they usually do.
It's June 11th. Back home, Eastern Time.
Okay.
So, yeah, 42 years ago, I was just about to pop out to the world, Eastern Time.
Just about to.
Yeah, I had like 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Right.
Because my mom said I was born at 2:14. Mm-hmm. Damn it, if I just would have held out 3 minutes, I could have been 217, baby. But no, yeah, so technically I'm enjoying a few more hours at 42 being in California.
Right.
But
because you've been living California time for the last week, so.
Right. And then we fly back tomorrow. Well, yeah, California tomorrow, like June 11th, my 43rd birthday.
Yeah.
I always wanted to spend it in the airport and on planes.
See, there you go.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Sarcasm.
That's so sarcasm.
No, but it was a good trip, though. We got to tell, like we've told about in the last episode, our Air B&B debacle, which... You know, it all comes back to we're sober now. We can deal with problems. We can deal with hiccups. And, yeah, everything doesn't go our way every time. Mm-hmm. But we'll get into that story in just a minute. Want to remind you, though, to subscribe and follow us. I think it's still subscribe on YouTube, but they changed it on Apple where it's more like a follow now. Mm-hmm. If you listen through that. But, yeah, YouTube was kind of taken in the shorts by a man by the name of Joshua. I was like, dude, you got to step up your YouTube game. And I was like, dude, I don't have time. Like, I just now started paying attention to YouTube. And, you know, I really don't. You know, I don't have time to make videos and all crazy stuff. And he was telling me, after he criticizes me, he's like, well, yeah, my wife does this and that. And that's a full-time job, dude.
Right, so it's like it's way time consuming.
Yeah, and then he was like, because it was during the meeting on Wednesdays that we do online through the app or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, now I see why you need another assistant besides Justin." Little shot at Justin, which was kind of funny. Justin was like, "Wait a minute, what?" But no, man, it really is. It's a full-time job doing all that kind of stuff, and I do my best. I do the best that I can, and you know we're doing 3 podcasts a week now, plus your replay on Sundays.
Right.
So you know you're still getting 4, and there's so many episodes. We're up to 4. This will be episode 493.
Wow.
So we're almost up to 500, and you know it takes a lot. You know the website, the app, I still have to load 2019 and 2020. People are probably looking at the app going, wait, all these episodes from, you know, the past in the archives, well, where's the rest of them? Mm-hmm. Again, it takes time. And I'll have it done soon, but it takes time. You know, there's a lot of episodes to upload. And once they're there, they're there. But if you want to go back and listen to some of the older ones, you can still do that from our website, 217recovery.com, and you just scroll down.
Load more episodes.
Yeah.
Just keep doing that.
But it will be convenient for you on your phone very, very soon. But in the meantime, when you listen to every single episode that we have up there right now, and then you're like, I want more, just send me an email.
Yeah, wow.
But I'm pretty sure I'll have them uploaded before you can listen to all of them. Which I told you, damn, we forgot to do. our cat Nico, like I told Marney, I was like, that we could start the podcast, like just play it on Apple or whatever, and leave. And when we come back, it'll still be playing. Yeah. And you were like, no way.
I didn't believe him.
Yeah, there's enough episodes to go through over a week. 24
hours a day.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That is, yeah, that's how many episodes we have. So that's why we do, your replay on Sundays, because a lot of people have missed those episodes, and it's just impossible.
That's commitment right there.
Mm-hmm. I think they should play us in jail. They just play us with a loudspeaker. Just keep it going. People will be like, who in the F are these people?
Right.
I'm here for speeding tickets. I almost made a joke today, too.
At the meeting?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went to an AA meeting here in San Jose. Great people, man. Really, it's awesome. You can come to the completely different side of the world and hear mostly the same thing, and just smiley faces. There were some really, really cool, happy people, and they were genuinely happy to see us.
Absolutely.
And one of the guys said that he went to drunk driving school. And the only that's what I kept thinking about the whole time was like, man, like I know what he meant, but it sounded like they were like he went to learn how to drive drunk,
Right.
And I was like, yeah. And then at the end of that meeting, I didn't think I'd have to talk, so I was just kind of thinking about the text messages you were sending me, and and just stuff on my phone, and I'm just like la la la, and they're like, all right, and I'm like, all right, cool, because how they do it is they let the people on Zoom go first, and then they dedicate like the last 15 minutes to the people that are actually there in person. And I looked at my phone, it was like 47, like 9:47. I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way they're getting all these people. And I talked yesterday, so I'm just here to listen. And just about to wrap it all up, and the guy that chaired yesterday's meeting was like, oh, Corey's got something to say. And he called my name when we walked in. And I was like, oh, hey, I was kind of surprised that he remembered my name. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, no, Corey wants to get up there and say something. And at first I thought, man, like these people just want to leave, but damn it, there's a microphone, and I'm kind of addicted to those. So I was like, all right, I'll go. So I went up there, and I just kind of told some stories a little bit about my thoughts of how I'm not going to die, and how alcohol is going to be one of those ways that I'm not going to die. And it's kind of like a choice, because the theme of the meeting, do you remember what the topic was?
I think it was reality.
Yeah, reality. So that's what kind of made me think about that. It was like, okay, well, the reality of the situation is I control my own reality. The actions that I make during a day, the choices that I make during a day, all those lead up to what is my reality. If I would have chose to drink today, I would have a different reality right now. Mm-hmm. And so I brought that up with, I'm not going to die on a motorcycle. I'm not going to die skydiving. I'm not going to be eaten by sharks. Oh, and then this guy, he
had these people rolling. It was funny.
He was really funny. And he was talking about how he had these waders, and he always wanted these waders so he could go fishing in the ocean. And he could wear the waders and he wouldn't get wet. And then he found out that if you get water in your waders, you become a weight. And the ocean will just take you away. So he said he wears like this razor blade on his neck so he can cut the waders off. And he said that, 3 or 4 people have already died like in the last week or something because they've just been swept out to sea because their waders just took them. And so that was another way that I was never going to die.
Yeah, you made some references. It was funny.
Yeah. But, yeah, like I said, drinking, like I'm going to make a choice. Just like I'm choosing not ever to ride a motorcycle or jump out of a plane. Mm-hmm. To me, I look at it like, I make that same choice every day with alcohol, and I think a couple people related to it. And
oh, no, I think everybody did, because how you said it, how you presented it was really effective, I thought. Like you said, I know a few things. Like, I know I'm not going to die in a motorcycle accident today. And I know I'm not going to die in a skydiving fall today. And then you said the thing about the waiters, and you said, and I know I'm not going to get drunk today, because you're not going to put yourself in those situations. So, yeah, I think it really it was a good note for people to go off on. Yeah. They found it funny too. It was like this mundane ending, and then is there any other burning desires and crickets? And then this guy's like, Corey has something to say.
Were you like, oh, Jesus, that's my husband. What's he going to say?
No, it was great. He did great.
Because I wanted to keep it shorter, too, because I like to ramble. Mm-hmm. Like, I will get up there, especially when I'm talking about recovery. I will just... 4 hours later, you're like, well, Corey, we just asked you to say a few words. Thanks. So I was kind of mindful. All right, man, nobody wants to hear your marathon speech, Corey. Like, save that for the 24th of July. I was right. Like, that was a warm up. That's what it was. It was a warm up.
There you go.
To that. But no, I just had this thing, man. Like, I used to have a drink before I got up and spoke in front of people. And the only words I would say, like when I was in Kalamazoo, I think that's when it kind of turned. But like, I would get so nervous in front of people, and being in the radio station, behind closed doors in a room by yourself, yeah, it's easy to talk into a microphone. But you take that same person and put them in front of 300 to 1,000 people, it's a whole different ballgame. Mm-hmm. People are looking at you, and you're like, oh my God, what are they thinking? And can they hear me? Did I just mess that up? Oh, man. And I was really nervous at first when I started doing that stuff. And I took a speech class. I took theater. That helped a little bit, but just doing it over and over, and then realizing if I mess up, I'm the only one who really is going to even know I messed up. Just keep going with it. Like, I've had some major fails in radio. Like, I was trying to throw this shirt off the stage to the crowd, and it didn't even make it off the stage. It's just, so I mean, some of the things that I was like, well, it can't get worse than that. Like, I don't know. So you just kind of run with it. But now it's like when I get up in front of people, I just feel this energy and just like, mm-hmm. And it's something that I really enjoy doing. And
you can tell. And the guy even said that after the meeting. He's like, there's this presence about you. He's complimenting you.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt nice. Mm-hmm. It really did. And like I said, those are good people. And yeah, shout out to them. I gave him a business card. I was like, here you go, man. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't up there like plugging 217 recovery either.
No, not at all.
I kind of mentioned it yesterday about how we started a nonprofit and we help people in early recovery, and, even take people to treatment to and from, but that's just pretty much as far as I went, because it wasn't really a 217 thing. But like in July 24th in Pawpaw at the Recovery Zone rally, it'll be some 217 stuff. Mm-hmm. Just tell some good old stories.
Yeah.
But that'll be fun. But it was fun at the meeting, and I'm glad we went.
Me too.
For sure. But yeah, so I do want to mention, since I mentioned already, is my birthday. And on Facebook, they have that pick a charity thing. Well, of course, I picked 217 Recovery. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of talk a little bit about, in the description, how, it's really personal to me. And, you and I both, and a lot of people in recovery, help people in recovery all the time. It's a job that just never really has a clock to punch.
Right.
You don't punch in, you don't punch out. If someone sends me a message, I'm going to message them back. Mm-hmm. It might not be that day or that minute, but I get to it. And most people would tell you that have messaged me like, yeah, man, that he does. And it's not always what you want to hear. I don't have all the answers. But from my experience, I kind of, well, here's what, I would recommend kind of thing. And it just feels good. And I kind of put that in the description of, why I'm choosing 217 Recovery as my fundraiser, besides the obvious reasons. But we've gotten a lot of people already donating to it. And I put $4,300 as a goal. And some people will be like, well, that's unrealistic. I don't think so. I think that's very realistic. Mm-hmm. There's the people I've helped alone, if they just gave $1, I think it would be up there. I don't know. It wouldn't be 43. I haven't helped 4,300 people that I know of.
Maybe you have.
I mean, people listen all over the country, all over the world, really. So I don't know. I would be probably surprised how many people like actually would be like, yeah. Mm-hmm. It helps. But $1, $2, $5, $100, whatever. Still waiting on that first $1 million donation.
Right.
It'll happen. It will, because I believe it will. But just some of the people who've donated so far. Jason Vaughter, big thank you, man. My Aunt Angie threw down some bones. Dawn G, Susie Benson Commons, big thank you. It means a lot. It really does, Susie. Chris Henderson. Oh. I was like, wow, thank you, Chris. You know, she's somebody that I met a year and a half ago, maybe. And I really push for her. And I just hope the best for her. And it really meant a lot, you know, that she would donate. So thanks, Chris, and my mother. Thanks, Mom. No, but for real though, but thanks to the people who have donated already and who plan on donating. It's a good cause. You know, we do get people to and from treatment, and there's so many things that we want to do and that we are going to do, and that your donation will go for. So we really do appreciate the support, and we appreciate the financial support. But thanks. So with that being said, should we get to our story?
Man.
Let's go for it.
All right. So we talked about how you should never use budget rental. And then I was going to talk about Airbnb, because I was like, man, so far it's just been nothing but problems on this trip. And like, before we went to the first Airbnb, and I think we said in last week's episode, it was pretty, I mean, it was all right.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have the coffee maker, but, you know, whatever. Not a big deal, as we would discover. But, I mean, the place was clean, smelled good. You know, they didn't want him renting it out as the Airbnb, which we clearly saw in the elevator.
That's not our battle, though, so.
Right. Yeah, and we didn't squeal on him or nothing. We didn't go telling the people or nothing, so. No, but it was all right. Very basic. Didn't have a lot of things, but like you said, probably didn't want a lot of things stolen.
Right.
So that brings us to our next Airbnb, which we drive up. Beautiful. California one. Like you'd mentioned, the scenery is gorgeous. And we get to Boulder Creek. But before we leave, I noticed some reviews. And it really started me scratching my head, because when we booked it, the description says, you know, entire
house in Boulder Creek.
Yep, Victoria
That's
home.
A big black letter, all caps.
Victorian home. And read a couple of reviews. Oh yeah, sounds cool. Then I start reading down, and there's this one lady who says, well, first of all, you're not going to have the house to yourself. What? And I saw too that it mentioned breakfast. I'm like, how do we get breakfast? Like, this lady coming over and cooking us breakfast every morning? Like, this doesn't make sense. And start reading on, and that's what it said. You know, it said in the description, in a separate unit.
On the property,
in a separate unit, separate studio on the property. And then another one down later, it said that, you know, you guys shared wall. And I'm thinking, okay, out in the backyard, you know, there's a wall. You know, we share the wall, whatever. Because it already said entire house.
Right. And
in the review, the lady fires back at the lady who left the review, saying, hey, look, you know, this is very misleading. We didn't have the entire house, but, you know, it is what it is. But she fires back with, you should read the description better. And why did you think that there wasn't a picture of, you know, another bedroom? It's because that's where I sleep and this and that. And, you know, you should just blaming the lady who stayed there, who left the review, you know. And I'm thinking, okay, this lady is very combative. This is not what I signed up for, because there was some kind of special timing in play, for our trip that we're trying to make, you know, little babies and stuff. So, like, I don't want some lady listening in the next room.
Right.
Because then she'll want to join in, and I'm just I don't want to live that way anymore, you know? I know you're not a big fan of sharing, so it's like, okay, you know, this is going to be really awkward. this lady's beating on our door. I want some. I want give me some of that up in there. Come on, man.
Oh,
Man.
Maybe she would. Maybe she would. We don't know. Thank God.
Yeah.
We never had to get that far with it. But so knowing that, okay, this lady is very combative. Let me just get a hold of Airbnb and let's figure this out. So we finally talked to this lady, and I tell her our dilemma. I even explained, look, we got some family time that we need to be making, and it's going to be awkward. And she said, well, let me get a hold of, I'm going to escalate the situation, and they'll get back to you as soon as they can.
They didn't.
No. So we're like, all right, well, we haven't heard anything. Let's just plan our day, be on our way, and we'll figure it out. When we get there, and, maybe it won't be that bad. Maybe, who knows? So we get there, and holy hell. My first instinct was the gag. It was so nasty. It smelled like nursing home and farts, and I don't even know. I want to say it smelled like my grandma's house, but it wasn't like my grandma's house. It was like, no, it wasn't like, it was like nursing home diaper. I don't know. It was just like a very unpleasant smell. And in her listing, she said that we can't burn candles, because she likes to keep the stench in. I really don't know. Like, maybe she knows it stinks so bad, and that's her way of like tacking on extra money. I don't know, but it was dirty. I didn't even look in the fridge, but you can describe that situation in the sink.
Okay. Well, I mean, like you said, our one concern that we had to address even before we walked in the door wasn't figured out. It wasn't really, we hadn't sorted out what really was going on. But that being said, is we were, we were trying to still have a day in, LA still, and trying to figure out how to get to where we needed to go and enjoy our ride and so on and so forth. So whatever. Yeah. So we get there, and he's right. It was terrible. The smell was not pleasant at all. It was stale and like, I mean, it was an old house, I'll give it that, but it smelled like an old house, just that's all I can say, musty kind of, and just not fresh.
No.
So we had that going on. Then as you go into, I noticed there's no, I won't go that far yet. So we go there, and I open up the fridge. I'm just curious, and I'm opening up, and there's like, the cupboards are full of like, I don't know, random groceries and like peanut butter and, bags of like salt and oatmeal and chai seeds and weird stuff. I mean, essentially what we've come to figure out is this was this lady's house, like the whole house, and it's, she just board yourself up in one room for when she books it.
And before we get any further, I want to back it up to the house. I want to paint a picture.
Okay.
So as we pull up down this road, it's kind of off of a side road itself, but it's like a dead end road almost, and you can barely even see the road. And you're thinking, wow, if another car's coming, we will get hit. The overgrowth of like trees and weeds, and you just kind of heading back there, and then we get to the house, which you can barely see through the like
hedges. Yeah,
and nothing's really kept up. It looks really kind of bad. There's no walkway up to this place. It's just like a hill, and then to like not mow the grass, she just threw a bunch of rocks down. Okay, I get it. Yeah, it's California, but this is Boulder Creek. They have grass. Like, it grows there. And so I had to lug these 2 heavy-ass suitcases up these rocks. Like, there's no pavement. There's no step way up. So we get up, and I get up to the steps, and it's walking up these old rickety-ass steps. Get up there, and I'm like, oh, my God. And then we walk in, and, yeah, the smell hits you, and then you're walking on the floor, and it's because, like you said, it's old house. Okay, I get it. But the smell was so bad. And anyway, I was kind of done with it. Went to the bathroom. You went to the bathroom first. You came out, and I go in the bathroom. And I'm thinking, oh, honey, you forgot to flush. Because it was, like, brown. And I did do, like, a second take because I realized, oh, no, that's not a turd. But the whole bottom of the bowl, like in the middle, the center, was like shit brown. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't sold that way. It's probably the rust in the water or whatever nastiness is going on. And so I'm thinking, oh my God, like she couldn't clean that with some CRL or whatever it's called. Like, no, she couldn't. And I look over on the window and there's a smushed mosquito. I'm thinking, man, I don't want to stay here. I looked in the bedroom. That looked disgusting. And the whole time I'm thinking, well, which door is this woman behind?
Yeah, I know.
Is she going to pop out? Like, I don't know. It was very frustrating. So anyway, all right. So then you hit the fridge and you're disgusted.
And then I look in the freezer and there's like three-quarters of the way full with like bags of unmarked. We don't even know what it is. Not that I was looking for anything. I was just kind of got curious as after the first cupboard, just figuring out that this is this lady's home. And then underneath the sink, I opened up because I'm standing at the sink and I'm rinsing out. I had tried to make coffee and I couldn't find the lid to the coffee maker. She had a coffee maker, but no lid to it. And it was hidden someplace anyway. And so I'm standing by the sink and I can smell the smell. And smells like rotten garbage. And come to find, I open up the sink and this overwhelming yuck of, must have been like their recycle bin that was not rinsed out. And so that was terrible. And so I'm like, I'll make it smell better. And while we're figuring out, I'm thinking there's no way my husband is going to stay in this place. I don't even want to stay here. And this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. I got to figure out what to do. Because he was I think he was too afraid to be like, I'm not staying here.
Yeah, but I wasn't happy.
No.
You could tell that.
Oh, I knew that. No, I just didn't know what to do because it's like we had invested so much money. We were already a day later.
Because we were still
waiting for Airbnb to call us back. So we'd already been like, oh, well, we'll just eat the first day and whatever. So it was kind of the whole thing was just a mess. And so I'm like, I'll make a bag of popcorn while I sort through in my brain what we're going to do here. So I can get on my phone, figure out what else is out there, cancel, call Airbnb, whatever. So I go to make microwave popcorn that we had purchased earlier that day because we're big fans of Pop Secret. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and this will make it smell better while I'm sitting here and figuring out what the bleep I'm supposed to do here. Mm. And there's no stupid microwave. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I text her and I'm like, it says in your thing. She loves saying, oh, what's in I described that. You knew what you're getting into kind of deal. Mm. I don't like her already. Never even met the lady. And she's like, I haven't had a microwave in 20 years. And I was like, thinking to myself, I'm glad you think that's cute and that you feel like you're quaint and what have you. But that's inconvenient. And do you know somebody we could lend? You could lend us one. And I knew we were leaving, but I just wanted to see what she was going to say. And she's like, no, I don't. But you can go to the store and buy it already made if you really want popcorn. I'm like, you are missing the point. I want to punch you in the face. So, and we had just been through the ringer, and I'm just like, I'm over it. So, bing, bang, boom. We didn't even unpack nothing. No. So that was just, yeah, totally bad experience. And we're still going to have to clean up the whole financial piece of it all. I mean, it's an investment. Like when you secure that, I mean, Airbnb, if you know what you're getting, if you find a good place and apparently research it, and I don't know if you can read all the reviews.
Yeah, but you're relying on other people's reviews.
You are relying. It's a shot in the dark. I shouldn't have to do
that. How about you just tell me what it is?
Yeah, it's a shot in the dark.
Describe it to me.
Which is super upsetting. But, yeah, I mean, there's tons of, hidden fees and stuff. There's $100 cleaning fee and, booking fees and taxes and da-da, So after it's all said and done, it's pricey, but I don't know. So live and learn.
Yeah, we'll let you know how it goes though. But just from her ad and her keep saying, well, did you read the, see, she's trying to say that, well, it doesn't say that a microwave was listed. It just says full kitchen.
It reminds me of some like sneaky like lawyer.
Yeah, but
who's, all shenanigans and like loopholes and, like suckers you into something.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. Like, we shouldn't have to rely on everybody else's reviews. So everyone has to have a shitty experience before other people can kind of know. Because, I mean, are they going to leave our review up there? Because I guarantee you it'll help some MFers out. Mm-hmm. Or are they going to go, no, that was too mean? Do they take those down?
I don't know.
I bet they do. And just from seeing that lady tell the other customers who had anything remotely bad to say about her place, she's firing back and telling them that they suck and maybe Airbnb isn't for them. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's not their thing. Meanwhile, we're now in San Jose in a beautiful place that was exactly as described.
Yeah.
And so it's hit or miss, but at the same time, it shouldn't have to be like deciphering a code. Like, oh, does it have a full kitchen? This place has a full kitchen. It said it in there, and it has a microwave. Mm-hmm. And she's trying to say to other people, too, this other lady back in Boulder Creek, that, well, did you see another bedroom in there? Didn't you wonder where it was at? No, because you said I had the entire house. There's no pictures of the bathroom. Yeah, if she wants to put a picture of her toilet up there, that'd be awesome. That would be really nice to know when you go there. Like, oh, this looks like there's shit just in the toilet 24/7. Thanks. There's a reason she didn't take a picture of her bathroom, but yet I assume there's a bathroom. Mm-hmm. It's just really stupid, like stuff like that. Like you said, like shade lawyer, and people at Airbnb have to realize that too. They really do, and if they don't, well, I sometimes I get bored, and I have extra free time to do things. But it'll be my mission, But I don't know. I don't think it'll be that. I have to get that far, but I just hope it's resolved, and it should be. We didn't stay there. It was a couple hours. We waited for them to call us back, and we get it. They're busy, but they have to understand where we were coming from, and it's not like we weren't trying to get out of paying for a place. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. It's just that place was not as advertised. It smelled. It was nasty. No, I'm not staying there.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's our little story, and we'll keep you posted. But this place now, though, in San Jose, oh my God, you want to stay in a awesome place, and I doubt you're going to be in San Jose anytime soon, but if you are, man, let us know, because this place is really nice.
Yeah, we were pleased with it.
Luxury apartment is what they called it, and we were kind of nervous at first, and you were trying to be real funny. You came to the apartment first because you had to get the fob to open the gate so we could park in there, and you like jumped in the car, and you had this like look on your face, and you're like, like, oh. Like you were trying to say it was like bad, but because you wanted to see the look on my face when I walked in, and you meant bad ass. Mm-hmm. So, but you didn't hide it very well. You're like, oh, but then you're like, oh, we're not ever going to want to leave here.
Yeah.
No, it's a little small. I wouldn't want to like live here in this unit, but it's still awesome. For a couple newlyweds like us, Mm-hmm. That's good. So it ended well.
Yeah, you figured it out.
But yeah, so thanks for listening to our Airbnb story and following us on our first sober vacation. Mm-hmm. First vacation as a couple. I think it's my first vacation really kind of ever.
That's what you were saying.
I mean, yeah, Mom, they took me to like Niagara Falls once or whatever and let us camp out in the backyard. Those kind of vacations. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, especially as an adult, most of my vacations were, back home for this or that, weddings, blah, 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 Christmas, holiday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was really nice, and to do it sober and, to hit an AA meeting twice, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised, actually. I mean, California is kind of like a little bit behind. It's kind of a little bit behind Michigan in terms of coming back into action. So we were surprised. Like, it was hard to find in-person meetings. We ended up having to, I'm glad we went back to the same place. They have an L&L club here, but they're few and far between. I mean, like, it's pretty sparse. Online, everywhere. Online, you can find them, all kinds of San Jose meetings online. And the ones that are in person were hybrid, which is cool. Like you said, the forum, like how it's set up there, is pretty slick. They actually have one person who's kind of like, it's almost like an open talk for the first, like, I don't know, like 10, 12, 15 minutes or so, something like that. And then they open it up to the Zoom people, which they have people sitting in the meeting that are kind of facilitating that piece of it. And then they have the podium up at the front that's got, a tablet attached to it. So you're on Zoom for the people that share when you're in meeting. It was really pretty, it was organized really well. I was pretty impressed. A good speaker system so you could hear everybody, on a big flat screen. You could see the people that were sharing on Zoom. So, and you know what? I was thinking about it while I was sitting there is that's going to stay around. That setup, this Zoom stuff in general, it ain't going nowhere for everything. Telehealth in general, like doctor's appointments and stuff like that. Yeah, that's going to be huge. Even counseling, therapy, all the stuff that people that you had to put your shoes and socks on to, and get in your car to go someplace or on your bike or whatever it was. You can do it all. Grocery shopping, Kohl's, whatever, Uber Eats. Everything. You don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Everything is just stay in your house if you needed to. So, but I mean, there's something to be said. I mean, for me, I get so much more out of in-person meetings. It's just something about, being in the rooms and seeing people, and that's one thing, like you had asked me things I take away from being in California. And that was a big piece of it is, sitting in that room with even the few people that were there. It wasn't a ton of people, but I felt comfortable. These are my people. They don't know me. I don't know them. But like, there was no element of like fear or discomfort or, awkwardness. It was just like, they look at you and you look at them and it's like, we're both facing the same demons, man. And, we're here and we're survivors. So there's an element of respect there, which is huge. And that made me feel really good. And I said that even when I shared at the meeting is that, no matter where you go, you come into those rooms and it's where you belong. So we could have been from planet somewhere else and you're still, and everything makes sense. It's not like, oh, I'm from Michigan, so this is, this is over my head. It's like, I get it. That everybody's sharing the same shit, just a different place. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. Big time. Second thing I take away from this trip is relationships, recognizing relationships in general. I put my family through a lot, like most of people, and addiction, we aren't in the best spot with our family members, and some of us are completely cut out of, or shut out of, their family. And when I first saw my sister Alexandria, I hadn't seen her since I've been clean this time. And she was born when I was 16 years old. So I had already had my first drink, when I wasn't active in my addiction, as I was later in the later years, but she never knew me like, 100% clean and sober, other than the stints that I had when I was in court, drug court and whatever. But for real, like on my own sober, anyhow, I remember the time I had seen her, and I didn't even tell you this. The time I had seen her before this last time, to like this trip, we were dropping her off. No, she was dropping me off at the airport. My family was, and we got out to say goodbye in like the drop off place at the airport, and she hugged me, and she's just like, I just don't want you to die, and she was crying, you know. And I didn't know what to say back to her. Like, I hope I don't die either. It was just, I promise you I won't. Because I knew what she was saying, you know. And it was just, that's the last time I'd seen her before this. So me seeing her this time, you know, she's been in touch with I've been doing, you know, with my life and the progress that I've made. And she's happy for me. But when I first saw her, when we walked in, she just started crying. And, you know, I was like, you're going to make me cry because, aww. I mean, those tears were back, you know, from there were tears again, but, you know, these were tears of joy. And so that was huge for me to realize that, you know, how far I've come and the relationships can mend. And it takes time. And, you know, we're not probably, you know, 100% there because a lot of our family members still, you know, it can be months, you know, that years even that we can have, and we've gone back out. So some of them still have that hesitation, you know, waiting for the shoe to drop kind of deal. But either way, you know, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for being able to recognize the fact that I have people that love me and believed in me, you know, even through my darkest moments. And then, and also being able to experience a sober vacation with my husband, you know. And so this is I'm in unfamiliar territory, you know, like first sober vacation, you know, back at our first real vacation together, you know, ever as couple even. We haven't even been on a vacation till now. And, I mean, it was amazing, and it's been amazing. It is amazing. And it's just like, I'm so grateful to this day. I sit back all the time, and I'm just like, I'm so thankful to God to where I'm at right now and the things that I have and the people that I have in my life. So I'm seriously like blushing right now because it's just so awesome. Yeah. But no, so that's what I got for my California takeaways. Yeah,
then my friend Jason Lauder, he's kind of telling me some of the things, you know, because he's got, I think, 6 years, 7. I don't know. He told me, I think it's more than 5. But, sorry, Jason, I forgot. But to me, he's got a lot more than I do. And he's just telling me, he's like, yeah, man, I remember doing this and that and for the first time. And it's just like, oh, my God, I'm doing this sober for the first time. And it's cool. It really is to go through that and to kind of realize, oh, yeah, I am doing that sober. And to look at where we were a few years ago and to tell people it can happen. And it doesn't have to be that same life of using drugs. You know, alcohol is a drug. And it doesn't have to keep doing that. You don't have to keep going down that path, and things can change. And they're not easy. You know, when you first go into AA and you're like, man, this isn't for me. I don't like the God stuff. Yeah. I said that too. I did. I sat there and I wasn't going to participate, and I didn't like it. It made me uncomfortable. It makes me want to drink because they're talking about drinking. Every excuse under the sun. But then once I got a little wiser and realized what AA meetings really were, and it was being a part of something. It was, you know, that's the human nature. You know, we want to be a part of something. Our human nature isn't to go off into the woods and die alone. Mm-hmm. That's not how we build societies. That's not how we build houses. That's not how we create things. Nothing would get done ever if people did that. Now, it's kind of like cats. You know, when a cat is hurting, it kind of goes off and dies. You know, it goes off and it hides. You know, and when people are hurting, they do that too. But you got to bring them back. You got to bring them back in. Like, to say someone is not comfortable with going to an AA meeting, so you're going to go, okay, well, then you probably shouldn't go to them. Just, how about you just go for a walk every day? I can tell you firsthand, I did that. I'll go for a walk. I actually walked to AA meetings, but I wasn't trying to replace the AA meeting with a walk, because at this time I already realized what AA meetings were about, and, just that whole being a part of something. And it was also a chance to share. My therapist, I can't call 24/7, and sometimes I have problems, and I start thinking about them problems. And like when I lived in Buchanan, I knew there was meetings every single day, and I could go to them. So I would use those meetings when I couldn't talk to a therapist, or when I was in between therapists. If I had a really shitty therapist, I'd be like, well, I'm not talking to them anyway. They're telling me to just go for a walk, and, oh, if you're mad, go for a walk, No, I need to talk about it. I need to get that stuff off my chest. Oh, but it makes you feel uncomfortable. Yeah. And I need to learn to live with that. I need to learn how to deal with those situations, because I don't know how. The only way I know how is to go use and drink. Mm-hmm. I need to figure that shit out, and at AA, you can do that. And I've said this 100 times already, but a few months ago is when it really clicked for me that when I was in sober living, we had to go to 5 meetings a week. And I was putting in 7, 5, it was very rare that I would hit a low number like 5. I mean, we were going all the time. And it occurred to me that was teaching my brain how to deal with situations. When I feel uncomfortable, well, I'll talk about it tonight at the meeting. Mm-hmm. I'll get that off my chest. And so I think it was an argument that you and I had gotten into, and I was like, man, I need to go to a meeting. I'm driving to the meeting and driving home, and it's just like, I never thought about drinking. Like, never once did it pop in my head to go to the liquor store and solve this problem. The way I was going to solve that problem was to go to an AA meeting and get that off my chest. So that's when I was just like, oh, my brain has been retrained, which needs to happen. Mm-hmm. We need to learn how to live like that, and we need to learn how to make better decisions, because we don't know. And early recovery, that's very important. So if someone's like, oh, but I don't want to go to a meeting, make them go to 3. Mm-hmm. You don't want to do something, then that's what you need to do, because it makes us uncomfortable. Because why? Because we're changing and we're not used to it. That's just human nature. It's how we're built. Yeah. And I don't know if someone can't understand that concept, like, it's kind of hard for me to understand that they don't understand the concept of just going to a meeting. And it's not about God. I believe in God. God helps me a lot. I don't ever tell anybody else, you better believe in my God. That's church. Yeah. That's religion. Spirituality is something completely different. Having a higher power. I call mine God. Some call it whatever, but it's not that. And there's so many different meetings you can go to. Celebrate Recovery is all about that. If you want more of Jesus in your life, there you go. There's meetings that don't talk about God. There's all kinds of, there's Dharma. There's just so many options. Zoom it up, baby. Like, you can do anything you want. So don't fall for the whole, well, I'm just uncomfortable there because I don't like to talk to people. Well, maybe you need to change that shit. Do you like doing drugs? A lot of people have done a lot of nasty things, and they're going to be like, oh, but I can't go to a meeting? You stole from your mom. You stole from your aunt. What else did you do? But yet you can't go to me because you're uncomfortable? Come on, man. Yeah. Anyway, that's just my soapbox speech. I'm down. I'm done.
Well, the thing is, too, is like, you're uncomfortable about what? Because nobody's going to make you talk. Nobody's going to make you share. And the thing about religion and AA, I mean, here's my thing. Okay, so the word God is said in meetings, in like the readings, and people will bring up God in their shares, or who they choose God to be. They'll talk about that a lot, like what they think God. I had one guy who was very adamant about the fact that his higher power was nature, and had lots of reasons behind it that made a lot of sense, man. And good for him. That's who and so, I mean, I don't know why that makes people uncomfortable. Nobody's going to push you to, I mean, I can't speak for every AA meeting in the world of AA, but in my experience, and I've been to a lot of meetings, is that nobody is trying to shove any godness, into your life. It's kind of just like it, but it's talked about. It doesn't mean you got to pick it up. You know what I mean? Just let them go. And there's so much more in what meetings are about. Meetings are about hearing from other people about what are they doing to stay clean today, or what they didn't do, mistakes they made. It's about learning, and it's about listening, and it's about sharing if you feel like it. And if you just like those basic things right there, and you have that in your head as to why I should go to a meeting, there's no reason why you shouldn't, So I don't know. I just feel like it's a cop out. And you know what? Lots of time, if you don't feel like it, I don't feel like it a lot, but it's something that you should do. It's part of the diligence. And I think that's important that's why they call it working a program. Because it's, your program. Nobody's telling you what you got to do to work it. But sometimes it's, suit up and show up, even when you don't really feel like it.
Mm-hmm. And if you have our app, you can jump on 2 meetings a week. We might extend it, I'm not sure. But, we usually send out a push notification saying, hey, we're about to start a meeting. So, that's easy for you. And we're real loose. There's a lot of laughter going on in our meetings. So if you don't like to laugh, don't like to have fun, just don't come. But if you do like that kind of stuff and you want to get some serious stuff off your chest, we're not going to laugh at you, but you definitely can share that there. But I'm just saying it's real loose, and nobody's going to scold you, and we don't expect you to scold us for not following the rules of your local club, because every meeting's different. Meetings are run differently. So check us out if something you're interested in, and but definitely do those things you don't want to do sometimes. And if going to meetings is one of those things you don't want to do, that should be a red flag. That okay, why don't I want to do that? Really break it down for yourself. You're the only one that's responsible for yourself. I can't keep anyone sober. Marney can't keep anyone sober. Right. Therapists can't keep anyone sober. My mom couldn't keep me sober. Your mom can't. It's up to us at the end of the day. When you want to just cut out the bullshit and you want to get down to it, and you can accept the fact that no, drinking is not an option. Doing drugs is not an option. And I'm good with never drinking or doing drugs the rest of my life. See if you can accept that 100%. Because then you'll know that you're on the right path. And it takes time.
It takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time.
But yeah.
Because you're different. This isn't going to happen to you. But this can happen to you, this good stuff that Marnie and I are talking about. So trust us. It's in the promises. Read those. But I don't like AA. I got to say to that.
Man.
Nah, but for real, thanks for listening, though. And I do have something crazy to talk about. Well, maybe I'll do that next Tuesday. But Rob Larson, who was in room 217 with me, is going to be in Traverse City on Saturday doing a golf tournament. And he's like, dude, I really like to hook up, so I might have him on the podcast as a special guest.
Nice.
Bring him in the studio. Maybe Nico can leave a nice little treasure for him. No, Rob and I were tight, man. Like, that was my boy, but man, we'll get into that. I think we told the story before on the podcast last summer, Rob's return. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. But then Tuesday, I'll share or maybe I'll talk about it with Rob. A guy reached out to me. I'll just talk about it just for a minute. A guy reached out to me last night and asked me a question. And it was kind of like very like, wow, how do I answer that? But I kind of knew. He said, how do you not drink when you need to hide to get over the pain? He's dealt with a lot of loss. And that's something that I haven't dealt with. like family, children. And I just told him that, you know, for me, you know, drinking is not an option. And I told him I couldn't even pretend to know what he's going through. He lost both of his brothers, and he just lost his other brother. And it's like, wow. And he's not really in all that great health. And he's just like, why, man? Like, why? And I told him that it all happens for a reason, and the reason why is not us. That's not up to us to figure out.
Right.
You know, we'll go crazy trying to figure out, why is this happening to me? Why? But just to know that it's happening for a reason. And I told him, and this is 100% truth, you know, the strength that he has by going through everything that he's gone through, that's going to help somebody someday. Somebody he may know right now, somebody he may not know. You know, somebody walks into his life 2 months from now and needs to turn to him, you know, for that strength. Because he gets stronger every time, I guarantee it. And yeah, it hurts and it sucks, but you know, that's something that I don't know anything about, you know, and that's not a resume you want, but the stuff that, you know, he's been through, he's survived, and he's proof that you can get through it, you know. And I told him, you know, drinking's not going to bring anybody back, and he's like, yeah, I know that. And I told him to just let me know, you know, he can always reach out to me if he ever needs anything. He told me that he loved me and that he appreciated that. So, but not like that kind of, not that kind of love. But I don't know. We'll get into more of that later next week, probably.
That was nice of you, though.
Yeah.
I mean, people need to hear, like, when people are at spots like that, you know, and like you said, sometimes it's like we don't have magical words, but we can tell you that to hang on and to try to be as strong as you can. And that, you know, if you're, you know, if there's anything that you can do right now, I mean, I know it sounds hard to look at it this way, but your family members would want you to be strong and you know, be as healthy as you can be.
Yeah, they would. They would really want him to do that. Yeah. You know, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't. I don't want to.
Right.
But he's got a lot of strength in him, and he doesn't even see it, you know. But like I said, we'll talk about that next week, because we can go on and on about that. And we need to go to bed because we got a flight to catch. Yeah. But we do appreciate you listening.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, get the app if you don't have it yet. Like us on Facebook. Like us on the YouTube stuff, because I'm starting to get on that. And then the birthday fundraiser, if you could donate $1, $2, $1 million, it doesn't matter. But just something that really kind of shows your support, and that'll help get people to where they need to go. And I really want to buy, since we're talking about AA books, I really want to buy AA and AA books and give them to people when we take them to treatment.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Here you go, and here's a pair of socks. Would that be weird if no, I'm not even going to say that, because it's a joke, but it's not funny time right now.
Okay.
So, but it's a good
Another
joke.
day.
I'll tell that Tuesday too.
Okay.
217recovery.com, more resources, and hit us up Instagram. We're on all that. So
all right.
Appreciate you. Love you. And special guest Rob.
All right.
On Saturday.
That's right.
See if I can piss him off. Oh, it'll be fun.